Welcome to Lesson 5 in Unit 1, Introduction to Plants and Animals. In this lesson, students will work to answer the question, how are animals alike and different? Students figure out that animals each have their own structures, and we can sort them based on these structures. Animals can change their environment to meet their needs. In the Engage portion of the lesson, begin by asking students to share their favorite plants and animals and what they know about them. Review that plants and animals as living things grow, need space, food, water, and air. In small groups, students will work with the models inside their biofact bags to sort the objects into 3 groups: things that come from plants, things that come from animals, and things that do not come from either. Then ask students to look at their group of things that comes from animals and tell what the bone, feather, or shell may come from. Be sure to prompt them to support their claims with evidence. Continue the discussion about the shell, bone, and feather as examples of structures that scientists might use to group animals. Reinforce vocabulary by defining a structure as a part of an animal that helps it do a certain job. Once this discussion is over, collect the biofact bags. In the Explore portion of the lesson, students are working in small groups again, using animal model bags to observe the different parts of the animals. Ask them probing questions about animal bodies or structures like feet or wings. Guide them towards looking for similar structures and creating animal groups. Give groups time to work on their sorts, encouraging them to justify or explain within their group. Once groups have finished their sorts, discuss their groupings as a whole class. In the Explain portion of the lesson, start by showing students an animal classification video. Pause the video at the point when the narrator talks about the spine, and have students feel their own spines. Then lead a discussion about how scientists give special names to groups of animals that have similar structures. Use the animal models to demonstrate animal groups: mammals, reptiles, amphibians, birds, or fish. Ask students to describe the structures these animal groups have that are similar. Make a chart that defines and organizes these classifications of animals. Next, use the animal card set and have students add to the chart by reviewing and classifying each animal. As they classify the animals, reinforce the similarities between animal needs: air, food, water, and shelter. Students may notice that all of the animals on the cards have backbones except the earthworm. Note that in the next lesson, students will discuss other invertebrates. Using the cards, ask students to point out animals that live near them in Missouri. For extra support with this activity, use the Missouri Department of Conservation Field Guide website to display example pictures of Missouri animals in each classification group. In the Elaborate portion of the lesson, engage students in discussion about how animals can also change their environment to better meet their needs. Use the bird from the animal model bag as an example. Birds use various items from their environment to build a nest and meet shelter needs. Ask students to use the animals from the animal model bag or other animals they are familiar with to give other examples and support them with evidence. In the Evaluate portion of the lesson, students will work in small groups to describe an animal and create an animal riddle to share with others. Give each group an animal card from the kit and these 2 student journal pages to take notes on their animal. Once they have their notes completed, groups will write a riddle about their animal on this student journal page. Give groups opportunity to share their riddle in a class presentation for other groups to guess what the animal is. Finally, revisit the deer eating in the forest. Ask what we have figured out that helps us understand what the deer is doing and what else they wonder about the deer. By the end of this lesson, students will have classified animals such as mammals, reptiles, amphibians, birds, and fish according to their physical structures.